Hi, welcome back. In the previous videos, whenever we've been doing an exercise, we've been placing the flash on top of the camera on the hot shoe. But what we'll be seeing in this video is that you can actually fire this flash off camera also. That means you can place it anywhere, and the moment you take the shot from your camera, this flash will fire even if it's not on the camera, and this allows for a lot of creative flexibility to the photographer. So first of all, the question is, how do you sync the camera with this flash so that it can fire? So there are a lot of ways to sync the camera and the flash, but the most convenient way to do this is to use wireless radio triggers like these. So if you just take a close look here, so here we have radio triggers provided by a company called Digitech. You get it from different sorts of companies, and always check what is compatible with the flash that you are planning to use. That's very, very important, because if you buy radio triggers of a different brand, they may not be compatible with the flash that you're using. So that's very important. But once you do buy the radio triggers and you found out that they are compatible with the flash that you're using, what you'll basically get are these devices, one of which is a transmitter. So the one with the electrical contacts here is the transmitter, and this goes on top of the camera. And then you also get, most of the times when you buy this, you get a pair of receivers. You get two receivers. I'm just showing you one of them here. So because we just need to put it on one flash, but normally you get one transmitter and two receivers. So you can, if you have two flashes, you can sync two flashes at the same time. So this is a receiver which will go on, the flash will go on our receiver, as we'll be seeing soon. So that's how you'll be able to connect them and sync them so that when you fire your camera, this flash will fire. So let's see how this works. Okay, so we have got our transmitter here. This will go on top of the hot shoe on the camera like this, and then there's an on button here. You just need to make sure this is switched on, and this is all set. Now we just need to get our flash, and this is our receiver. So the flash will go on top of this like this. Make sure your receiver is on, and just like with the camera, make sure that you lock the flash so that it doesn't fall off, and switch on the flash. Now we're all set to see whether this has synced with our camera. So let's test that. Alright, so now that we have the transmitter on our camera and the receiver at the bottom of the flash, let's do a small test to see whether they have synced perfectly or not. So you have a little test button here on the transmitter. If I just press this, and if the flash fires like it did right now, that means that now it is receiving the signal and that this flash is synced with our camera. So if I take a shot with my camera here, just switch it on, and you can see I just fired a shot and the flash fired too. So I can place this anywhere right now, and this will fire the moment I take a shot, irrespective of whether it's behind the subject or at any angle to the subject. Doesn't matter, you can fire it from anywhere. So let's do a small exercise to see how we can use this creatively to our advantage. Okay, so for this exercise, we've got this glass of wine against this chart paper. So that's going to be the background, and we're going to be shooting this wine, and we'll be seeing how we can fire the flash off camera to enhance the look of this shot, right? So we'll be taking two shots, as you'll be seeing soon. So let's get into this exercise and start the process. Okay, so we have the setup for the shot here, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be taking two shots. The first shot will be just a natural light shot, just like what you can see right now in front of the camera. We'll not be doing anything additional. We'll just be taking the shot like this with whatever quality of light or the quantity of light we have available with us. So that this is a pure natural light shot. And then for the second shot, what we'll be doing is be adding some dramatic lighting to this shot to make the drink glow or glisten more, because we're going to be shooting the second shot with the flash held over the drink, so that the flashlight, because it'll be synchronized with our camera, so I can move the flash around anywhere, just like you've seen before. And I'm going to be placing this flash on top of this drink, and it's just going to, the light from the flash will just add some glowing effect or the glistening effect to the drink, and that will make it look really strong and, put some depth inside the drink. So first of all, let's take the natural light shot. So of course, I just need to make sure I'm using a small f-stop number. I'm zoomed in totally, so I can go down to f5.6. I'm using the kit lens. Now I don't need to increase the ISO to get my meter in the center, because the drink is not really going to move. So it's a still object shot, so I can just decrease my shutter speed, make it slightly slower. At 1 second, the meter comes in the center, and now we're all set to take the shot. I'm using the remote to take the shot because we've already seen that at such slow shutter speed, it's better not to touch the camera. So I'm just using a wireless remote here, and I'm just going to take this shot. And let's see what we get. And you can see we've got a pretty decent looking shot, not bad at all, but the problem here is the drink looks pretty flat, right? It doesn't give that effect of, a glowing liquid that usually looks good in beverage shots. So what we're going to do now is that I'll be putting on the transmitter on my camera, just like we've been seeing before, because we need to synchronize our flash first for the second shot. So I'll just be adding this. My camera moved a bit, so I'm just going to refocus, make sure it's able to achieve focus. And then I have my flash mounted on the receiver. I'm just going to bring it on top of just testing whether the flash is working. It's working. So I'm just going to bring this flash on top of the drink like this, as you can see here. And then I'll just be taking this shot again. Now, one thing I need to make sure before I take the shot is that I know that when I fire this shot, the flash will be coming on. So what I can do is, since there will be an additional light and the meter is not taking into account this additional light, I can just slightly underexpose this shot, because ultimately that light will help me fill in this gap. So I've just kind of increased my shutter speed to do that, and now we're all set. So I'm just going to hold this flash on top of the drink and going to take this shot. So let's see our new shot here. And you can see that this time, in this shot, the drink looks, it has a glowing effect and it's got that depth, and so you can see that it has got these different layers which are visible now from top to bottom. The top one is really bright, and then as it moves down, it starts to just lose that glowing effect. So it's got this nice gradient effect, which is looking much better than the last shot that we took. Right, so this was a very basic use of flash to overcome the limitations of natural light. So we added some dramatic lighting to this shot, and that's where an external flash can really, really help you. And you can use it for different types of shots. Like, let's look at this shot here. So for this shot, what I've actually done is that I've taped the flash inside the umbrella, like you can see here. And then, of course, I've just synced it with the camera using the radio triggers, and then I've just fired it. So that's the effect that it has generated, that the only light that I'm getting there is from the flash which is coming on top of me from inside the umbrella, because the flash is hidden there. So you can get very creative. Now in this shot, we saw this before in the starting of this section, and here it's very simple. I want this halo look around the subjects here, and so I've just placed the flash behind. But again, we're just synchronizing it with our camera using radio triggers, and I'm just firing it. And later on, once you get more advanced into photography and you go into something called a studio photography, firing the flash off camera is a great way to do studio photography. So you can produce shots with just one flash. So for example, for this shot, what I've done is that I've just, synced the camera with a flash, and then the flash is just placed on the right side of my subject. And this type of photography is called as low-key photography. Now, of course, in this course, we're not going into studio photography, but what I'm just trying to say is that if you know how to use the flash off camera, you can actually do studio photography. So I'm planning to come up with a studio photography course after I finish this particular course, and of course, you will be notified about that once I do that. But the point is, if you learn flash photography, it just opens up this plethora of opportunities for you, and it's a great tool or weapon in your armory as far as photography is concerned. So that's about it as far as flash photography is concerned. I hope you like this section. So I'll see you in the next section. Bye for now.